Okay, so having talked about how you get people to link to you, of course, if you've added DOIs to all your articles and you've made sure that when people click on those references, they will come directly to your website, of course, then the next question is how many people are actually citing you and clicking through on your DOIs. So how many people are citing your content? And for readers as well, how many other people are citing this content, and therefore how important is it and how relevant is it for me? So you can get this information from Thomson Reuters or from Scopus, but of course you have to pay for that. But CrossRef, obviously through this database of content, are recording potentially how many people are citing you. So Cited-By linking was set up as a free member service that provides a dynamically generated list of forward links so that you can find out who's citing your content. So just to explain how this looks, there you can see on this page, you've got the article, the references, and then you've got Cited-By. On this you've got the Cited-By there, and it lists all the articles that are cited. And this has been retrieved from CrossRef data. So this has been brought in through sending a query to CrossRef. This article here, they put it down on the left, and you've got cited, they've actually called it Cited-By articles, and they're linked to CrossRef. And when you click on that, it brings up the articles that are actually citing this. Within this one, again, they've got Cited-By, and here you can see, I'm afraid it's not very clear because of the red ring, but they're telling you that this article was cited in, and you can go to CrossRef and see how many people from CrossRef are citing it. You've got PubMed Central. They've got a similar search going through PubMed Central. This is nothing to do with CrossRef. And they've also got Scopus. So they've paid for Scopus to provide them that data. So with this, they're giving further information. And of course, this is useful to readers because not only do readers want to follow the information behind the article, so the information that was published before this article and which is referenced by this article, but they're also interested going forward, who is citing this article, and therefore where is the information and the knowledge developing. So Cited-By sort of provides the whole chain. So you've got the links from your references going to articles that were published previously, and you've now got links going forward to articles that are citing you. And this is all using the DOI system. And here's another example of how it shows. Now, the number of publishers that are participating are currently more than 400 of the CrossRef members. So they're participating in this, and therefore the more publishers that participate, the greater the numbers of citations you're going to discover of articles that are citing your content. Now, how it works is that to enable this system, you need to deposit your references with your metadata. So all today, we've started out this morning saying to register your DOI, you need certain metadata. The article title, the publication name, the journal, the book, the authors, etc. So there is certain metadata that is mandatory that you must deposit when you deposit a DOI. And all through today, we've said there is extra metadata, which if you deposit this, will enable you to get better use of your CrossRef membership by getting advantage of the different services, like CrossCheck, like CrossMark, and now through this as well, through Cited-By. So the extra bits of metadata for CrossMark said what other DOIs the article was associated with. So what article an erratum was associated with. What this requires is that within the metadata you include all the references that are within that article. So it's quite a lot of extra content that's put in. It doesn't have to be structured, and it can just be the DOIs of the articles that you're citing. But it does require you to put your references in. And the way the system works is that if you do not deposit your references, you cannot take advantage of finding out who's citing your articles. So you need to deposit your references to find that information. So how it works, sort of schematically, is publisher B, or article B, cites article or publication A. So when publication A deposits the DOI number 1, and publication B deposits DOI number 2 with the references, then when publication A queries CrossRef to say, who is citing me, they'll be told who's citing them from publication B. So because the references have been deposited by publication B, they're in the CrossRef database and you can access that information. However, if publication A queries CrossRef but nobody has cited it today, then later when publication B deposits its references which cite publication A will then find that information as a dynamically generated piece of information, who's citing them. And part of this, of course, is because when at the time at which you publish and you deposit your DOI, nobody will have cited you because you've not yet published. However, as time progresses, more and more people are going to cite your work. So the list of publications that cite your article is going to increase with time. So this is something that you need to constantly renew to increase the lists of articles that are citing you. Just a few statistics here. There's at the moment 23 million articles have been deposited with CrossRef with their references. So that information is stored to enable you to find out which of those references are citing your publications. And at the moment there's 433,000 cited by links. And I think quite an interesting figure is that there's 40% of CrossRef DOIs have at least one cited by link. So there is information being generated on who is citing whom. Now, how you participate, you sign up as part of your membership, you deposit your reference lists for each document with the DOI metadata, and then you can query CrossRef to get a list of all the DOIs that are citing your articles, and then, of course, you can display this on your website. So the references that you deposit will be part of your metadata deposit. However, you can retrospectively deposit them as a reference resource only deposit. And you can do this through the simple text query deposit, which I'll explain in just a minute. And you don't need extra permission from CrossRef to deposit your references. Once they're embedded within the metadata with the correct XML tags around them, they're just incorporated within the CrossRef database. So, if you want to deposit your references only, either retrospectively for articles where you have already deposited your DOIs, or because you don't want to include them with the CrossRef XML that you're depositing, you can use the same simple text query deposit form that you use to look up DOIs. But you'll see at the bottom there is a deposit link, and that's what you use to deposit your DOIs. Your references. So you paste in your references as you would do normally to find the DOI, and you submit. And here there's just one reference, which is here, which has got the DOI. You then hit the deposit button at the bottom. You often won't see this because it's further down the screen. So when you go down to it, you then fill in your email address. You put in the DOI of your article. So this is the article which has this reference. So that's the link association. You then have to log in, of course, because you must be a member, and then you hit the deposit button. So just to reiterate, you're putting in the references that are at the end of your article, and you put in the DOI of your article. So you're taking your article, DOI, and the references, and when you hit deposit, it's depositing those references and associating them with your article. An important note is whenever you do a deposit and you fill in the DOI of your article, it will overwrite any reference deposit you've already made. So don't add your references one by one, because every one will replace the previous one. You need to deposit the whole list of references. So if you have missed one, or there was a mistake in one, when you correct it, deposit the whole list again, not just the one that was incorrect. So you need to deposit the whole lot. Once you've deposited your references, you then want to do the exciting thing, which is find out what other references that have been deposited actually refer to your article. Only members can do this, and you need permission from CrossRef, so you need to apply for your membership to allow you to do this. And then you can only retrieve Cited-By links to your own articles. So nobody else will be able to find out who is citing your articles. You can only find out who is citing your own articles. So how you query for it, you can set up, you can use the CrossRef XML schema and deposit a query with CrossRef. You can also use, they've got HTTP queries, and there's a PMH, an OAI PMH interface that can be used to create alerts for you. But most importantly, there is a help form about this on the CrossRef site. You can also store queries. So you can query CrossRef and say who is citing this article, this DOI. But because citations grow with time, you want to keep querying. So when you make the query, when you've submitted it, you can apply for a stored query that will ensure that you're informed whenever anybody actually references one of your works. So this will grow with time. Now, just to say that last bullet point, I'm afraid I checked with Rachel, and that's actually incorrect. Your references, your Cited-By links are not updated dynamically in the same way that Crossmark is. What happens with the Cited-By links is that you receive an email alert to tell you, this article has now cited you. This article has now cited you. And so when you get the email alert, you need to have a system to take that information and put it on your website. So it isn't a dynamically updated system at the moment. It may be in the future. And also just to say, again, you'll keep seeing this slide, CrossRef is very concerned about developing systems that will work for publishers that don't have access to fully automated systems. And so new publisher tools will allow you to extract references, to easily update them and add them into the CrossRef database, looking up DOIs for references, and also using widgets to display linked references. So there is help in the pipeline for depositing them. But the key point about this is that for members, you have access to a system that will enable you to find out who is citing your content, and then you can display that on your website. useful for readers, but also very good for authors as well, to know how their research is being used. And again, referring to the help page, there's a lot of useful information about Cited-By linking and how to deposit and how to retrieve the information. And there are some useful help pages here. Again, the handout that you've got, on the back page of that are some useful links which refer to this. Okay, that was quite a quick through. Does anyone have any questions about